All right, I'm going to show you how to factor here a couple different ways. So we're going to be dealing with factoring quadratics. So factoring quadratics, anything that's got to the power of 2 and that's the highest exponent is a quadratic. So something that looks like this is a quadratic. The highest exponent is the power of 2. So I have a couple different ways. I'm going to say A, B, C. And the A, B, and C are just the numbers. So the easiest thing for me to do is to go A equals, how many x squareds do I have? 1. There's always a 1 in front of it if there's not a number there. B is how many x's I have, which is 4. And C is how many constants I have, which is 4. So when I'm doing this, I can make 2 parentheses. I'm going to go x and x. Our leading coefficient, our A value, is going to be 1 all day today. So anytime that I'm starting with a 1, it's going to be x and x in here. Okay. Now I'm going to look for 2 numbers that multiply to C. So I'm going to say whose product, which is means that you're multiplying, is C, and whose sum, which means we're adding them, is B. So I'm looking for 2 numbers who have a product where they multiply together to the number at C and who have a sum of B. So I need 2 numbers that multiply to 4 and add to 4. So that's going to be 2 and 2. 2 times 2 equals 4, and 2 plus 2 equals 4. So 2 and 2, which means in here it's going to go plus 2 and plus 2. So that's one way that we can do it. I'll do a couple more examples like this. So remember, we're looking for, I'm going to leave this at the top, 2 numbers whose product is C and whose sum is B. So if I have something like this, I need 2 numbers that multiply to 8 and add to 6. So my factors are going to be x and x whenever the first one, the A value is 1. So I need 2 numbers that multiply to 8 and add to 6. So I'm thinking 2 times 4 equals 8, and 2 plus 4 equals 6. So it's going to be 2 and 4. So I go plus 2 plus 4. And that's kind of how we're going to go through the process of doing this, okay? That's one option. The signs matter on these. So when I say B on this one, I'm going to say B is negative 4. And when I say C, I'm going to say C is negative 12. So I need 2 numbers that multiply to negative 12 and add to negative 4. So I'm going to say 1 times negative 12 equals negative 12. That didn't work. 2 times negative 6 equals negative 12. Oh, sorry. I didn't add them together. 1 plus negative 12 equals negative 11. So that one didn't work. 2 plus negative 6 equals negative 4. So that one did work. So I need positive 2 and negative 6. So that's one option. Another option is the quadratic formula, which is negative b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c all over 2 times a. And I have a, b, and c right here. So the opposite sign of b is 4 plus or minus square root negative 4 squared minus 4 times 1 times negative 12 all over 2 times 1. So I'm going to simplify inside the radical first. That gives me 16. That gives me plus 48. That gives me 2. Wait, is that 48? 48, 16, and 48, yeah. Square root of 64 is 8. So 4 plus 8 is 12. 4 minus 8 is negative 4. 12 over 2 is 6. Negative 4 over 2 is negative 2. So that gives me the same values. So whenever I do this, whatever solution I get, I subtract it. So x minus 6, x minus negative 2, or x plus 2. So it'll give me the same factors. The only difference is I need to remember when I use the quadratic that I'm subtracting whatever I got. Oops, I wrote x instead of 6. So it does actually give me the same factors. I just need to remember here I subtract whatever I got. Sorry. Here I subtract whatever I got. So hopefully that makes sense for you. We'll do a bunch of practice in class.